happy.
You are happy.
Yes.
Very
Happy on a day like this. Congratulations. Q.
Congratulations.
As of 2 nights ago
That's
now,
right.
by the time this airs.
You got engaged.
You are
Yay.
You got a rock on that
Beautiful.
finger?
Yes.
Rock on that finger. I'm very excited. Thanks, Taryn. Just broke the fourth wall by accident.
Yeah.
Well, and that a perfect segue into the fact that we are the third happiest country. I might bump us up by one all on my own to the second happiest, but Canada is apparently the third happiest country in the world, or it's also been framed as the third best place in the world to live, behind, as always, Sweden and Australia. And those, well, Australia, I would imagine the weather has a big part to play in that, and they like a lot of booze down there, so they're just generally happy folks.
Well, in Sweden, every time you buy something in IKEA, they get a
I
little
know.
bit
That's
happier.
right.
They have IKEA.
and the bikini team, that's the only two things anybody knows about them.
One, the chef.
Chocolate.
Yeah, something about meatballs. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
are you surprised at this rating, this third place
I'm
ranking?
surprised that they would even pretend to make a ranking of the happiest countries in the
Yeah.
world. How do you judge who's happier than someone
Fair
else?
enough.
Exactly. It's so
True.
subjective.
Yeah.
What
It
if
really
they polled a country when they were just having a bad day?
Yeah.
They came in like a Monday morning, like, God, no, we're not the best country.
No.
God.
Everyone's
So
very
it just like knocks them down to like 15th. Sorry, Uruguay.
Yeah, exactly.
and I picture Uruguay as being particularly happy,
15th,
personally.
yeah.
But that's the thing, maybe they are, you know?
Well,
Sometimes if you have a simple life, the less you have, the happier you can be, you know? And if you become inundated with all these things that should make you happy, but it doesn't. It just makes you want more. And
I guess so, but I
it's
mean, I'm pretty happy in Canada. I think we all are, right? To me, I would think happiest country would be a place that more people in the world want to move to. And we do have high immigration rates, but everybody seems to want to move to the States for that American dream, right? That's where many people, many immigrants come across to, trying, legally and illegally, trying to get into the USA, as though that's the place. But I don't know where they ranked. I didn't look that up actually.
Well, I think that's changing.
That's
I mean, I think
changing,
traditionally
yeah.
that they've been the sort of land of the free, and they're trying to no, we are. Anyways, the people, just the fact that their geography is like aligned with Mexico, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's more why people are trying to run to it. Who's running to Canada other than like people from Baffin Island?
Yeah, right.
I don't know what to say about that, but that's, our camera guy Jeff just hit a like. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
it happens all the time.
Everything, like, I think you look at the last like 10 years of the recession that's happened in the States, and just the weird political, like, it's just kind of just a weird environment to look at media-wise from the rest of the world now.
Yeah.
And
Well, they become the country everyone loves to hate, right?
yeah, that American dream is just different now, and it just seems much more. I don't know. It's not the same as it used to be.
No, I think people are sort of wising up to the fact that it's been a ruse the whole time. Like, hey, come, the American dream, yeah, come on, and
Yeah.
we will build our dreams on your backs. Like,
Sorry, just
no.
very quickly. It could be also that the highly publicized like healthcare things that Europe and Canada take for granted at this point that America can't get on board with. If I'm coming from another country and I want to, come to a place with good amenities and good healthcare, I'm not going to America.
yeah.
Fair enough, but so what constitutes happiness, right? What is making, because obviously they polled people and that's how they do these things. So it's not, I would say it's not scientific, but what is it that makes us happy about our country? What
Our
is it?
politeness. I think that we were too polite to tell them how upset we were.
I think you're right. Yeah.
We're embarrassed of Rob
System's
Ford.
flawed.
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
It is really true, unless they pulled people in Toronto. That would have taken things down.
Yeah, for sure.
Grumpy, just.
They're very honest about their unhappiness.
What is it that we love about our country, though? I mean, and I think we do, for sure, take for granted the healthcare thing. On the flip side of it, though, and as someone who has had experience in the healthcare system, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
No.
It's for a few certain things, it's great, and for a lot of other things, it leaves a lot to be desired. So, I mean, I wouldn't rank that as a reason I love my country.
On a very basic level, though, the fact that we can complain about it is a
Yeah,
great
fair
thing.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
But I think it's
yeah.
just the quality of life in
Yeah.
general. Well, quality of life in general. Most of us have jobs. We have a house. We have some or possessions that we do own, and I think it's really kind of quality of life. Healthcare into that, food, the abundance of food. We can just go to the store and buy food. It's not as if here's what you have is a bowl of rice.
Right.
I read a study, or it was an article written a long time ago. I forget who wrote it, but it was about how having things readily available for us like food and shelter, not having to work for it actually makes people less happy because it just sort of, it gives us no sense of purpose. Like when you have nothing to, every single day,
Yeah.
well, when every single day you have to either go and hunt or go and gather berries and stuff, your purpose, you don't even think about it, right? But when all you have to do is, I'm going to Wendy's, I'm going to get my burger and come and sit down, and then I've got nothing to do for the rest of the day. It's sort of like, it brings up the notion of what's the purpose of my life as opposed to not even being able to think about it because you're just working all the time.
Would
right?
you not have that same feeling though, no matter what country you lived in?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, so
but I'm
it's-
saying the difference between our country where everything is so easy
Readily
for us
available.
as
But
opposed to somewhere
it's
else.
just as readily available in the States. And in fact,
Yeah.
probably more so because cheap things like your Wendy's hamburger are
Yeah.
cheaper in the US, right? You've got prices, things are more affordable. There's a lot more places in the US where the weather is more friendly. So, but yet they're lower on the rankings
Well,
than we
but
are.
with poverty and stuff, like I'm talking about for the lucky few, or not the lucky few, but the lucky people who don't have to worry about it, and it's just, you work your job and you get home and you have tons of spare time, but it's getting so bad in the States where people are so poor that they're working 3 jobs
Sure.
and they're barely able to support themselves, right? So
But
that's not.
does that reflect then on your happiness of your country,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm wondering, like, I don't know the parameters under which they gathered this info. I don't know what they asked people to determine their happiness of their country. But what, the happiest place to live. Well, what makes Canada such a happy place to live? Because we do have many of those same problems.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people
It's
who
true.
work 2 and 3 jobs.
We
right?
honestly, we have like the weirdest sense of humor as a country.
We do.
I noticed that like when I traveled as well, New Zealanders seem to have a similar sense of
I
humor.
was just going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's being the smaller sort of
second
satellite.
cousin.
in there.
Second cousin.
Exactly.
It really breeds this sort
'Cause
of.
you have to make fun of yourself because you have no
Yes.
other choice, right?
Well,
So
some of
eclipsed
the
by a
most
bigger
revered and loved
country.
comics, in the world are Canadians,
Yeah.
right?
We have a
And-
bit
And
of
everyone
New
assumes
Zealanders.
they're American.
very sarcastic
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
the second cousin.
I always
we're very
thought of
ironic.
I always thought of our humor because we have British roots and we're so close to the States.
Yeah.
I always thought that we take on a lot of British humor as well, which is
For
really
sure.
dry and sarcastic.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
absurd.
we have like that slapstick from the States that comes up that's really raw,
Yeah.
and it kind of just melds in Canada.
For sure.
And
Very
then of course,
self-deprecating.
yes,
And the
exactly.
self-deprecation, is a huge part of Canadian humor.
Okay, well, just quickly, I didn't prepare you for this, but I'll put you on the spot. One reason why Canada makes you happy, quick, like fast time.
Nature.
Multiculturalism.
Freedom.
Yeah. Well, you go first, and then.
Our money smells like maple.
Nice.
So we live in a place where that can be a concern for people, that our money smells like maple.
Yeah, music. I love our music here, and yeah.
Perfect. So coming off of the fact that we live in a very happy country and we love living here, we invite family and friends to come here to visit us, and we have tourists come all the time, in particular to visit us in the summer in Manitoba and in Winnipeg. So there's the obvious places. We were talking about this because we had our one of our bosses from out west, Chris Holtum, came to visit, and our new boss, Jordy, took her out for dinner and took her to Ray and Jerry's and had asked around, what are some real classic Winnipeg, mainstays? Where should I take Chris? And so Ray and Jerry's, long-standing steakhouse on Portage Avenue. But that, of course, sparked a discussion about what other places do we send our family and friends when they come here for vacation. Of course, the Forks is a big place, a big sort of obvious place, but where else do we send people, and why do we send them there? silence. No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, when I have family coming to Winnipeg, and I love this city, I really do.
Yeah.
I always hope it's a nice day out.
Yes.
Because we have such great parks. We have like Assiniboine Park's beautiful, and then if you go through at St. Boniface, there's like always a park peppered throughout.
Yeah.
You can go have some fun outside. Winnipeg is such a beautiful city when it's sunny out.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
When it's not sunny out, I'm like, I want to go see a movie. I don't know,
I feel apologetic when Blue Bomber players or other, sports players who are here in the summer, when they come in the winter but they haven't experienced the summer yet. Just
Yes.
wait.
Yeah.
Just hang on.
It's
Don't
not
go in.
always like
Yeah.
this,
It's
I
going to be
promise.
so good because
Yeah.
summer here, to me, is better than I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
No,
I mean,
no.
I
It's
stick
beautiful.
around Manitoba from June until September because why waste the time? It's green, it's luscious. The weather, aside from this humidity that we're experiencing that makes hair impossible. But
Tell me about it.
The canopy, I know, Rudy, you got to get that under control.
Sorry, continue.
Taking you to Shoppers for some product
Yes.
right
We'll
after
do
this.
that, yeah.
A little gel will do.
I love the canopy of trees through Wolseley and
Yes.
River Heights and parts of St. Boniface. Just that stunning canopy. Oh, I mean, to me, I just want to take people through that because there's a lot of other cities that don't have that.
I think
mean,
we really take that for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up here, and going to other cities, my parents talked about it all the time. I was like, what? I mean, the trees over the road, okay, big deal. You see that every day, but it's not like that everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where else do we take people?
I mean, I love the fact that we're a very event-heavy
Yes.
city as well, and that's certainly in the summer months. Any week, or any weekend that someone comes to visit you, you can head out to the Fringe Festival or to the Folk Festival, or I mean, even just in some of the smaller.
Yeah, Jazz Fest,
Yeah,
Reggae Fest.
well,
Yeah.
huge, but exactly. Yeah, there's always something going on, so that really is helpful event. But I find that in the winter as well, and I really like a lot of like small little. I'm not for the big things. I like the little small dives. So like there's the Hot Rod Diner that's in like North Henderson. I think,
Yeah.
around Henderson. I like
Lockport
taking
is so
little.
fun. Yeah, a Skinner's Diner. And
Yeah,
all
like
those little
breakfast places
yeah.
are fun. I just like taking people to Cousins for a beer or Sherbrooke, like things like that are different than.
Cokes, you were
Yeah.
going to say one?
Well, when it's raining and you want to be inside, a museum and the art gallery, but Rudy and I were just at the graffiti gallery, and it was pretty cool. I mean, these little off-site galleries, there's tons in the Exchange. Site gallery, platform gallery in Art Space, and it's just great to kind of walk through those things. I mean, we have so many artists in our city, besides the music and the plays. And then you can stop and have coffee, like, on Main Street, there's all these great little coffee shops, and just to have that instead of going to the usual restaurant and, filling yourself up with, the usual lunches and stuff like that. Try something different, because we have great restaurants. So we can kind of mix it up. You really don't have to think too far or go that far. So that's what's nice about Winnipeg.
What is the first place that you recommend people to go eat? When if anybody asks you, what's the first place that you
It's gone now.
It's gone. Which one?
It was, and you're gonna laugh, it was the Sal's on the Bridge, and I'll tell you why. It was the perfect embodiment of Winnipeg to me. It was this huge, beautifully designed, striking bridge, and then there was a Sal's on it. It was just like,
With
to me
a very
embodied
culturally
everything.
inappropriate named hamburger.
Well, exactly. Yeah. To me, it embodied Winnipeg in such a great way. I wouldn't say like go there, the food is delectable. It was just like go and experience this. Go and experience the $1 million bathroom at the Sal's, but it's gone now. So.
If they've never been to Winnipeg, I usually make a joke of it.
Well, that's what I mean.
They're
Like,
like,
yeah.
you should go to Sal's.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And they're like, you might just like it, but it's a Winnipeg staple.
You'll enjoy this.
Interesting.
You'll
Yeah.
enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
And
That's
if you don't-
interesting. Well, I am looking forward to the revolving restaurant being open
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
And very excited. I don't know, haven't really heard much else about that or when
I
it's
hope
going to
they
be coming.
speed it up this time.
Yeah.
It's really
It
slow.
goes a
last
little
time,
slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Very little
Just
nausea.
force everyone to the windows.
Yeah, you just like
I
that.
hated that ride at the fair. That was the
round-
Gravitron.
Oh, man.
And then when you get to the bathroom, just have like ropes you can pull. Yeah.
here's your meal and everybody hang on tight.
The guy at the bar kind of picks it up and just flings it.
No, but I think it's such a gorgeous
Remember X is
view.
coming, we're going to do that, right?
Yeah.
It's the highest place you could really go and take people in the city to actually
Yeah.
see, because in Toronto you can go up to the CN Tower and you can get a beautiful, stunning view. There's not a lot of places like we.
Well, now you can climb to the top of the IKEA sign.
that's a good point.
Absolutely.
That'd be really, and have Swedish meatballs.
That's right. But the restaurant was one of the few places you could take people. We get to go into office buildings in the course of our job and get up to some of the higher views to see the city. but most people don't. And the Real Rolling Restaurant was a great place to do that, and it's been, shut
Well,
down
it's
for
one
so
of the
long.
few in the world that is that kind of a thing in such a place where you can see so far in
Yeah.
all different directions.
Well,
right?
because
Like-
we're so flat,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
It's quite a
Yeah.
stunning view. And again, in the summer, when you look out and it's just this green pillowy view.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
I,
nice.
I live on the 14th floor, and it looks out over top of Osborne because my Shaw salary can afford that. It can't really. It looks over
You're
top
just squatting there.
Yeah, exactly. It looks over top of Osborne, and it's a lot of trees going into Wolseley with a couple church steeples. It's a beautiful site. I mean, our city is truly beautiful.
So what we need to do is find a vacant building,
Set up shop.
set up shop top floor, and open up a restaurant
Perfect.
with an art gallery and a live performance venue.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
For
And a
stand up
breakfast nook?
and a breakfast.
That's
Yeah,
not the
breakfast.
worst.
Yeah,
Can there be
I know.
tigers?
Certainly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
There was no question.
There
Yeah.
is.
Can be tigers.
There
You
will be
gotta have a
tigers.
Where are you
hug.
going to
I'm talking-
procure these tigers?
Oh, ask her. I just.
Well, you
I
went
had
to
the idea now.
Thailand. You went to Thailand,
it's
I'm sure.
true.
Yeah.
When I was with Winnipeg Humane Society a couple of weeks ago, they told me about a domestic breed of cat that is actually like
a tiger?
like tiger size. Well, not quite tiger size, but like looks like it like dog size.
Whoa.
But cat, you can get them. They're
They just
domestic.
didn't eat too much.
Nope.
Well, this has gone off the rails. But
Back to restaurants.
yes, back to restaurants. to
I have a
re-
few. 7 1/4 Bistro,
Yeah.
or DeSeo across the street. And then on Academy, you could go to Pizzeria Gusto or Infernos.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, Inferno's great.
And I think those four really kind of speak well about our city and flavors, I think, and making it really Winnipeg. I mean, there's so many other ethnic restaurants that really are fantastic, but
Yeah.
Winnipeggers that have taken all the flavors from everybody else and made it their own, I think, really, like you've done stuff with Sven, and they're amazing, and I like it, the fact that they're local and they own it.
Yeah.
So, when they deliver your meal, they've put their heart and soul in it.
Yes. Well, and a lot of these local restaurants are using local ingredients as
Yes.
a sort of a mainstay, right, which is important, and because there's great restaurants in every city, and that's the thing. I mean, you can go to amazing restaurants in Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, et cetera, all the way across, but it's these ones that if the local ingredients is what makes that experience, to me, just different and better.
And I think also it's important for us to remember our roots when people come to visit us, and they really, really like the idea of like that farm life. When my friend came to visit me from Toronto, and I'd met him traveling in New Zealand, so it's not like he hadn't seen a lot of the world, but he was just like, let's get out of the city. I want to see this flat prairie landscape,
Yes.
and so there are options. I mean, you just even go up to Oakhammock Marsh. That's a great place if you have kids. Like I'm more like, when people visit me, it's more like, hey, what can we do as a family? So that's a great place and gets you a little drive. And even like Louise May, who we did an episode on Your Busiest Day, she has an open farm day every single Sunday, and she also
Cool.
does like work vacation, so you could really actually go there and or a place like that
think
and
here's what
milk cows and whatever. I mean, why not? It's right outside.
Another business idea. Okay, so we do a traveling restaurant. So we find vacant buildings like once a month. We
just
set
squat
up.
in them?
We squat in them. Literally squat a restaurant, and then we invite chefs to cook just for a week, like they did on
You know
the
what?
river
The
bank.
logistics of moving the tigers alone is gonna be
It's going to be
such a
insane.
problem.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jay.
We'll get Heinz to build a traveling cage. We've got that
People
huge
will come to
mobile.
Winnipeg just for that.
That,
Yes.
Absolutely, they will.
Come for the food, stay for the tigers.
Yes.
And I